Okay, hi everybody. To be honest, I'm going to be completely transparent. This is the first time I've ever done a talk to people under the age of 18. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit scared of you all, so please be kind to me. So today we're going to talk about LinkedIn, and I know the first thing you're probably all thinking is how boring LinkedIn is, and it's a place that you shouldn't be, and you need to have built this amazing career before you can go on there. Absolutely not, okay? The sooner you get on there, the better. But the first thing I want to ask is, how many of you have searched degrees and jobs that don't require a maths GCSE? Yeah? Because when I started my journey, that was what I was looking for, because I'm not going to lie, I had an E in maths, okay? Hated it. But loads of degrees when I was looking and jobs, it was like the first thing they were asking for was, have you got a maths, have you got an English GCSE? So I want to tell you just a little bit about my story and how nobody's journey is linear and nobody's journey is the same. So I did my A-levels, tried to do my A-levels, and A2, totally flunked it. Couldn't be bothered. I went out all the time, getting drunk, 17, you know how it is. And I thought, oh, do you know what? Nah, I don't need my A-levels. I don't need it, I can't be bothered. And I'm not gonna lie, when I did that, there was instant regret, because I thought, oh, all my friends are going to university, they're all kind of got their lives mapped out, and here I am, I don't know what I'm gonna be doing. So I missed my university offers, because obviously I didn't get my A-levels. So I thought, right, I need to take a gap year, and I need to figure out what I want to do with my life. And again, I loved Legally Blonde, and I thought, I'm going to be a lawyer. How hard could that be? I got in to do a foundation degree and lasted 5 days, and I hated it. So again, dropped out. I was like, oh, I really don't know what I want to do. And then 2 years down the line, I thought, right, okay, I think I want to be a teacher. I think I want to be a history teacher. So I went back to university, did a foundation course, did a 3-year degree. I actually kind of stuck this one out. Did 2 weeks work placement as a teacher, and I'm really sorry to all the teachers in here, but I hated it. I could not cope with it. So again, I thought, right, back to the drawing board. What can I do? What am I going to do with my life? So I thought, right, okay, I need to go and get a job. I need to get a job, and I need to see what it's like in the corporate world. I need to experience what all the hype is, and, you know, buy in my workwear and put it in my wardrobe. So I got my first proper job, and my first proper job was in sales, and I loved it. I loved it so much. I loved the buzz, I loved the energy, I loved the environment. I really, really loved it. But then, during my time in sales, I stumbled upon marketing. Now, I've always been a creative person. I always wanted to kind of be the first one to design something or have an idea, and I needed to tell people about it. So again, I stumbled upon it, and I have never looked back. So fast forward to today. So I finished school 16 years ago, which seems like a really long time ago. 16 years ago, and like I said, I've had multiple different jobs. I think I've been a barista in every type of mainstream coffee shop. And now I am a CEO and co-founder of 2 businesses that I'm really passionate about, and I absolutely love what I do. So the point I'm trying to make, this is me when I was in sixth form, is that no career is in a straight line. You don't need to have everything figured out. If you want to go and take a gap year, if you don't want to go to university, that's okay. Like, don't panic, don't stress. If you don't get the grades that you plan to have, again, don't stress. You know, it's not a one and done kind of thing. I didn't follow the path I expected. Again, when I was doing my GCSEs, I thought, right, I know exactly what I want to do. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And it all just kind of, well, it didn't go to plan. And that's okay. And I didn't end up in a career that I imagined, because when I was in school, all the careers that were kind of the opportunities available to me, they were all kind of quite stereotypical. You know, you either went down the medical route, you were a nurse, you were a doctor, you were a solicitor, all these kind of professional jobs. And when it came to tech, it wasn't something that we actively spoke about, and it wasn't available to us. But again, it just goes to show how quickly the world changes and how different jobs are popping up left, right, and center every single day. So, first thing, I'd like you to scan this, and this is kind of like a digital, kind of like where we can capture some data to see what it is that you guys want to do after sixth form. Because again, I think it's really interesting. You stay on the app, and then you can see what people's responses are. So if you could do that for me, that would be amazing. And there's no right or wrong answer. Okay. Answers are popping up. Cybersecurity, somebody's put. So if you stay on the app, then you'll be able to see what people are saying. So give her another minute, just to give everyone a chance to fill it out.
Does anyone want to say out loud what they want to do after sixth form? Does anyone feel comfortable?
Yeah. Does anybody want to say? No?
We'll work into it.
Okay, so I would say at the moment, the top one is university. We've got musician, game developer, actor, video editing, author, sales, traveling, apprenticeships. So again, I think it's a really important exercise because it goes to show that how many different avenues you have when finishing your A-levels. But university is still coming up on top, which is interesting. So, career reality. So again, this is what most people assume that your career is going to look like. You're going to go to school, you're going to finish school, you're going to go to university, you're going to go from university, you're going to get a job, you're going to get promotion, and then you're going to become successful. But real careers do not look like that, okay? So it's all about trying different things. Like I said, I had multiple different jobs during my career, and I'm only 34. I've got another 30 years of working, unfortunately, and that means that, you know, my trajectory might change again, because again, there's no right or wrong. It's not stuck in stone. You can have options. Failing is really important because if you don't fail, you don't learn. So never look at a failure as a bad thing. Look at it as an opportunity to get better and to learn from it. Change in direction. Wanted to be a lawyer, I wanted to be a teacher, probably wanted to be a nurse at some point. I'm a counsellor because I had anxiety and I thought, oh, I know to solve everyone's anxiety, I can be a counsellor. So again, change in different paths. Meeting people you wouldn't normally hang around with. There's a typo there, how annoying. Where you wouldn't normally hang around with. Again, you know, you're learning from people that aren't in your clique, that aren't in your crowd, and it's important to have those conversations. Going back to higher education, I went to university, did a history degree 5 years ago. I went back to education and I did my marketing degree, and I did it through the untraditional route. I didn't go to university, I did a diploma, and I did it whilst working full time. So again, you know, there's various different avenues you can go down. Jumping from one job to the next is something that they don't teach you, but it's very important that you don't just remain consistent in that one job. It's really important that you do experience different careers, working with different people, because it does help you go up that job ladder. And portfolio working. We are in an age now where people have multiple different revenue streams. You probably see it on TikTok. People selling templates, people selling a course, people having a full-time job, people having a side hustle where they're selling jewelry. We are now living in a world where people have multiple different jobs, and it needs to be normalized because that is the way of the world. So where does LinkedIn come into this? So LinkedIn to me is kind of like a big directory of information. You can access real people Because again, we're learning about maybe famous people who may have started a tech company like Elon Musk. We can't relate to Elon Musk. It's very hard for us to be able to kind of gauge exactly what he did to be able to get the career that he had. But we can actually dive into learning about real life people that are accessible to us, that we can access. We can connect with people around the world. So again, you know, we're not limited to the spaces that we're in. We can actually go around and have a look at where these people are. We can connect with like-minded people. Something that was really important for me as a marketer, because when you work in marketing, lots of businesses will only have one marketer. They'll just have one person, and it can be quite lonely. So LinkedIn allowed me to meet other marketers, and now we've built a community of them, and it's a really nice space. So LinkedIn has become that safe space for marketers in particular. You can discover work experience. So if there's a company that you really admire, you can message them and say, look, can I do a week's work experience with you? It'll help your CV and it'll help you get a job, trust me. When you are going out into the job world and there's no experience behind you, it can be hard, and there's a lot of competition out there. There's lots of people who are trying to get the same job as you. Get that work experience. It shows that you've gone out of the way, unpaid, to learn about that role. It helps increase your visibility. More than ever, we are entering a workforce where your CEOs are going to be my age. And what we're looking for is people who are putting themselves out there, they're confident, they are using their voice in a positive way. It's not like back in the day, you know, where you'd have a CV and you'd send in, that'd be it. This is your digital CV. This is constant, and it allows you to update it in real time every day. I post on LinkedIn every day, and I've actively done it for the last 5 months. And for the last 5 months, I have gained 8,000 followers. Every single piece of business that my business makes has come from LinkedIn. So every client relationship has come from LinkedIn. There are businesses now on LinkedIn who have started as entrepreneurs and they're 20 years old, and they are building multi-million pound organizations, and all of their clients have come from LinkedIn. Nowhere else. Not TikTok, not Instagram, LinkedIn. Because that's where they are. And more of them, the younger they are going over to that platform. So, speaking of platforms, another little Slido for you all. Can you please scan that? Because again, interested to find out, what's the first app you open when you wake up? Is it going to be Snapchat? This is the one I'm thinking. Right, okay, so let's have a look at what everyone has said. So, Snapchat is coming up on top at 27%. Ironically, I didn't put LinkedIn, but I've put other. So who's comfortable to put their hand up and tell me what, if you did choose other, what that app is? Yep. Bamboo Handy. And what's that one? Amazing, okay. Anybody else who chose other? Yeah?
Hold on, I can come to you.
Hang on, sorry.
You want
How long have I got? Nice.
Reddit.
Yeah. Reddit, okay. One of my favorites is Reddit because there's some real angry people on Reddit sharing their opinions. But again, it's a really good place to go for information. Anybody else? Yeah. Discord. So what's that one? Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, interesting.
And Spotify back here as well, so there's the podcast you can see later.
Spotify, is that somebody? Yeah? Okay. Amazing. What about WhatsApp? Does anybody go on WhatsApp first thing in the morning? Raise your hand if you do. Okay. Interesting. Okay, right. So again, that exercise is really important to do because we talk about it all the time in marketing, and that is generational shifts and how as generations we shift in terms of how we communicate with each other. Now, communication has evolved over time, okay? When we think about when we were cavemen and cavewomen, we would throw a rock at somebody to gauge their attention. And that was communication, that's how we communicated. Where now, the majority of our lives, we communicate digitally. And when we think of LinkedIn, it's exactly that. It's just another form of communication. It's another form of talking. So what LinkedIn has definitely done and has evolved massively to accommodate the future generation is that it's no longer closed off and this corporate stuffy app. It's actually a place where people are having conversations, sharing their personal opinions, might be a bit controversial, but you've got people on there now who are really building a personal brand, and personal brands are really, really important. Not just from a content creator perspective, you know, if that is the route that you want to go down, but personal brand now in terms of, you know, people who are going to recruit you, they want to see your presence, they want to see you as a person, and it's something that helps build that credibility piece for you. So what exactly is it? Like I said, it's a digital CV. It is a real-time CV. You can update it every single day. It's a networking platform. You can join community groups, networking groups. Literally, you can meet all your future employers on LinkedIn. Career discovery, it allows you to have a look at different jobs, especially in marketing. There is a different title every day that pops up when you're looking at jobs in marketing. I don't know why they feel the need to change these titles all the time. But again, it's something that you do need to be mindful of because these jobs are changing all the time. There's over 1 billion people on there. So again, it's a widely used app. And especially if you want to go and get a job abroad, so say you want to go to Australia and go and work in Australia for 12 months, you can find your employer on there. It's also a hub of professional knowledge. It's also a hub for professional information. So like you read it, where you can go and find something out, LinkedIn is exactly the same. You can join newsletters, you can follow industry experts, especially in marketing, obviously, which is what I do. It is a really good place to go to find out the latest trends, latest insights, latest data. It allows you to ask questions. So sometimes, like I said, somebody might post something and you think, I totally don't agree with what they've said. I'm going to comment and I'm going to leave my mark on that. Again, it's a space now that allows you to be comfortable in doing that. And in terms of that career reality, so LinkedIn isn't just a place for corporate people anymore. When we used to think of LinkedIn, it would be men in suits, bald heads, sorry to people who are bald, and you would literally go on there and you think, oh my God, yeah, okay, you're a director, awesome, congrats. You know, like it would be literally a boasting platform, there'd be a boasting session every day on there. And don't get me wrong, they're still on there, okay? But it has totally evolved because now people are saying, I made a massive mistake in my business and I lost 10 million quid. That would never have happened 10 years ago because they wouldn't have felt confident and comfortable enough to do that. Where now people are admiring these people who are letting their guard down and they're letting us into their world and they're telling us about, this is the mistake I made and I'm telling you so you don't make it. So it's become no longer a gatekeeping app, but it's allowing people to build their entrepreneurial careers because every single one of you could start a business if you wanted to. There's nothing stopping you. And LinkedIn allows you to kind of have a look at how people are doing it or what they messed up with, and so you don't have to mess up and make the same mistakes that they did. So what are you guys going to post about? So, you know, in terms of your personal brand, Your personal brand is what people think about you when they hear your name, okay? And that is it. So for me, working in marketing, I want to be known as that person who speaks openly and honestly about the marketing industry. I want to talk about how the recruitment in terms of recruitment for marketing is getting harder. Organizations are really starting to tap into AI, but they're not using it properly. They're not putting prompts in properly. So many businesses are churning out the same rubbish all the time. So I want to be known as that person who's kind of going against that status quo and is challenging that. And in terms of marketing, how important it is as an industry, because without it, your business wouldn't exist. It's as simple as that. So, another Slido. This is the last one, I promise. What makes someone stand out online? So if you can scan that for me. So for you, what makes somebody stand out? So we can think of TikTok, Instagram, whatever app that you're using. What to you makes somebody stand out? And not even just stand out, but memorable, because that's what it's all about. We want to be remembered. I love how someone put on there, good looking. Oh, we've had a few rich people as well. Being fit, fair enough. Okay. There's a lot of answers on there. But again, in terms of things like being funny, being honest, being nice, consistency. So these are all the things that help you stand out when it comes to your personal brand. So personality, okay? So a personality is your superpower because nobody else has your personality. Nobody. Your opinions are your opinions. You may follow what other people's opinions are, but they're still your opinions, okay? And that is your superpower. So your perspective, your experiences, your voice, your ideas, your ambitions, everything around that is unique to you and nobody else can copy it. So what I always say is when you're building your personal brand is you need to stay true to your values. You need to stay true to who you are. Don't feel the need to copy and paste what other people are doing because it's the safe option. You need to be unique in yourself and your personality and don't shy away from it, okay? It's really important. And not just on LinkedIn, but across other various platforms that you choose to be on. And those content creators that are doing that very well are the ones who've honed in on that. They're going against status quo. They're being unique to themselves. And people are connecting with them because they're real people. And they're not perfect either. So growing your influence, so how do you do that? So on LinkedIn, you need to comment on other people's posts. So again, just kind of gauge your interest. Connect with people working in your industry. It's all simple stuff. You could literally do it after today. Ask questions about careers that you're interested in. Gain the confidence and just start messaging these people. Share something you've learned. You might have learned something today, hopefully you have, and you come away from it and you think, do you know what, I actually came away today with something that I didn't really think about. And now I'm thinking about it, and actually it's something I do need to kind of go into and think about it even more. So that helps you grow that influence piece. It also allows you to learn from people doing that actual job, because you might go down that route and think, do you know what, this is actually something I really don't want to do. Or it might be something you want to do, but you want to do it differently. And that is where that entrepreneurial piece comes into play. So, would you message someone whose career you admire? Hands up. So would you message them on LinkedIn and say, okay.
What would you say to them?
Yeah.
Share what they say?
Advice.
Advice.
What kind of advice would you ask for? How you get into the career or what they like about it. Oh, cool.
Okay, so people who didn't raise their hand, why is that? Someone able to tell me? No? Is it because you're scared of rejection or that they're going to just not respond to you? Yeah? Okay. What you've got to remember is all of those people on LinkedIn started somewhere. They didn't just wake up and become these successful individuals. They probably had to work really, really goddamn hard to get to where they are. And they made some massive mistakes. And they got rejected many, many times. And that is a known thing to so many business owners in particular, where you learn of lessons they've learned over and over. They were rejected, the businesses failed, and then all of a sudden it took off. Don't ever be scared to message somebody on LinkedIn, because if it's a career that you're really interested in, go straight to the person doing it, because they're the ones who will give you that honest feedback. They never, you know, if they don't respond to you, don't take it personally. It's just, they might just be extremely busy, but they, you know, hopefully they will get back to you. So it also allows you to think of careers that didn't exist. So again, we're following these people, and it's opening us up to various careers we didn't even know existed. So, you know, like UX designers now, you know, they're evolving continuously, especially because of AI. So now we've got AI strategists. So in terms of my business, I have now recruited AI prompt experts. So they are literally there to help with prompts. Sustainability. So it's a huge thing, and loads of businesses are actively thinking about it. Sustainability is something that, as a career, it is literally going to take off massively. Product managers, content strategists. So again, I have a team of people who are content experts, and that's all they do, because I want them to be the best. And innovation engineers. We are innovating constantly, every single day. The world is changing very, very quickly. And innovation is again, something that we need these specialist experts to be able to support us with that. So really quickly, and we're nearly wrapped up. So again, these are some influential people that have started businesses in their early 30s. And through the success of LinkedIn, they have built very successful businesses. So I don't know if anybody knows Ben Francis, but obviously he is the owner of Gymshark. Ben started it at 19 years old because he didn't like how gym clothes were fitting him. So he literally had a couple of £100 and started making his own gym wear. He is now the youngest billionaire in the UK. He's only 34. But LinkedIn has allowed him to connect with investors. It's allowed him to build his business to literally next level. It allowed him to go global, so he met investors within the United States. He's built a really strong community. Because of LinkedIn, and sorry, it's not 700 followers, it's 700,000 followers. Because of LinkedIn, he, again, you know, he is a very successful person. But he's also encouraging people to build their presence online early, and he's not afraid to share his mistakes. Now, the next one is the lovely Grace Beverley, who I've been speaking with lately, and she is going to be a speaker at Club Marketing. So Grace Beverley, again, a really inspirational person, and I think she's 29, so she's not even 30 yet. She's got 3 businesses that she started, and she really has changed the narrative on LinkedIn. So she's very like, this is what I've done today, it was rubbish, I can't believe I wasted my time doing this. So again, kind of standing apart from that kind of sometimes stereotypical stuff that can be posted on there. She is very supportive of entrepreneurs and community building and supporting young people to start businesses. She's also big on productivity, creativity, and the realities of work and the corporate world, and how it's okay if it doesn't fit your personality, because there's other options. So really quickly now recap. So what you could post on your LinkedIn. So I really encourage you to take a photo of this slide. You may not use LinkedIn right away after today, but you probably will over the next 12 months. And I've given you some ideas here of what you can post about. Because there's nothing worse than content block. And when we can't think, oh, what am I going to post today? Ooh, I don't know what to post. So again, this is giving you just some ideas of around what you can post on your LinkedIn. So where to start? Okay, so after today, I really encourage you, just create your profile. Okay, create your LinkedIn profile. It's free to do. Add your subjects and interests. So again, get that algorithm working in your favor. It's going to tell you and connect you with people that are just like you. Follow the companies that you admire. Connect with people you meet. So obviously, like today, we're all going to connect with each other. And comment and engage with people. Okay, so don't just sit on LinkedIn behind the scenes and just wait for people to connect with you, because it doesn't work like that. Because like I said, it's another form of talking. It's another form of communication. It's a two-way street. We need to communicate with them in order for them to communicate back with us. Keep exploring. So stay curious, always. The world is changing rapidly. So we need to remain open-minded. And don't just think, oh, I've created my personal brand now. This is what I'll talk about for the rest of my life. No, we can evolve. We can keep going. Being ambitious. I think ambition is something you can't buy and you can't fake it. So having that ambition and talking about it, it really does come through. And from an employability perspective, it's a really strong thing. So that's me done. So if you're interested in a career in marketing, I own a community group and we host events online and in person. And we have some really inspirational people come and do talks for free. It's completely free. We've just teamed up now with Cardiff Met, and we are supporting undergrad students by giving them work experience. So you can do 17 hours of work with us. And it's a really lovely community. And there's so many people in there, very inspirational people who, again, you could connect with. And who knows where that could take you.